I had been making bigger budget studio films and had gotten tired of the process and tired of how that goes, or at least that went in those days. I think it can't be any better than when I was doing it. And I longed to make a low budget movie where I would have complete control over it, the story, the flow, the characters, the thematic materials. So Prince of Darkness was the first of 2 low budget movies that I made. Rarely does a horror film try out new ideas, new ways of saying things. None so much as the problems that we're having today in horror movies, where a lot of derivative stuff it's very popular, but boy have I seen this stuff. So I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do a movie that just caused you a lot of unease and dread. And so I borrowed a little bit from Gregory Benford's book Timescape. I know Gregory, he's a really nice man. I borrowed a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit of Jean Cocteau, and put together this story about an anti-god, and that's Prince of Darkness. Well, I'm not looking forward to the end of humanity in reality, but in cinema it's always a lot of fun. It's always been fun, it always will be fun, the end of things. You have to be careful, though, because the audience doesn't really like that kind of stuff. They want a little hope, a little certainty, and they want to know that there's another day, things will be better tomorrow. That's generally the idea from the audience, but I've always loved a little doom and gloom, as the Rolling Stones say. So maybe it was my mood about the movie business at the time. Maybe it was whatever it was. I decided to concoct this idea of an alternate reality, essentially, in the way things were created. I'm still the guy who didn't get the girl, who was bullied in high school, who was no good at sports. And that's who I'm always going to be. But the thing about me that I'm proudest of is my love affair with cinema and my ability and luck at being able to be a movie director. I couldn't think of a higher calling or a better job in the entire world. I love it. It's fabulous.
I knew John Carpenter, for his filmmaking. Who didn't know John Carpenter? That was, not only did he direct and write, but he did that great music. For Halloween, that's one of the great themes of all time, that music was. I think we met at the WrestleMania 3, was it, in Detroit? Yeah. And I asked John, I said, hey, I want to come down and watch you film. That was really how it started. They were going to shoot this scene with this hand coming through the mirror. And I said, I want to see how you do that. So I came down to LA, where they were shooting it. And he says, you have this scene with these sort of street people that are zombie-ish. They're kind of like in this. He said, it'd be great if you were just sort of in that crowd, I went, okay, that'd be fun, put this stocking cap on and I'll just kind of be one of the guys. And they pan it and everything, and he says, the street people don't have a leader. It'd be great if you were kind of like the leader of this. Just, a couple of face shots here and there. Okay, great. I think they wanted just flat white makeup, kind of caked, so I looked like I was 75 years old and, and kind of like just blanched out and motionless, just, dead. And that was the whole idea, is that all these people on the street were pretty much brain dead. They were following whatever the thing wanted them to do. To me, it was a feather in my hat that I was in a John Carpenter movie. To me, that was really a very important thing, still is. I can say I was actually in a John Carpenter film and I got to be the killer. How many films become cult films? Not many. Somehow Prince of Darkness attained that. And I don't think there's any way of explaining why. That doesn't happen. I don't know if it's the pace of the editing or the characters. You can pick up any character at any time and go with it all the way through, even though you know the ending. It's just achieved that cult status.